Carmelo's new defense team is on their job, baby.
Well, we have an update for Karmelo Anthony, baby. He's got a new team behind him. So a new legal team filed substitution for counsel to pursue appeal for Karmelo Anthony.
Carmelo Anthony is now set to get that appeal that I told y'all. You called me racist. You called me hateful. You called me evil. You called me everything in the world. And all I was telling you was the truth. I know the law. You don't. That's why I have the large platform and you don't. Carmelo Anthony will walk free in less than a year from this date. Why? Because Collin County did an overkill on his sentencing and charges. Austin Metcalf is the original aggressor in the situation. Carmelo Anthony stabbed him one time and fled the scene. Hate clouded their judgment and caused them to blow the entire case. Manslaughter with a sentence of 5 to 10 years was the most you can do. But to a non-racist Supreme Court, this looks absolutely crazy. See, a lot of y'all are watching this are racist in the mind, and you think that this boy is not allowed to defend himself from that boy. But in the mind of a non-racist person, somebody getting 35 years for defending themselves with one strike after somebody else was the original aggressor and getting 35 years looks absolutely crazy.
Secret Service Sam here with a Carmelo Anthony update. Now, there has been a team of lawyers, the leading appellate, civil rights, and criminal attorneys that have been hired. They're working for him for pro bono. This is good news. There's the team made up of Russell Wilson, Gary Bledsoe, the president of the NAACP of Texas, Michael Elware, Brooke Cluse, my main man, Ben Crump, Sean Dorita, Justin A. Moore. This is the appellate team who's going to be taking a fresh independent review to determine if a legal error happens. Now, this is great news, you guys, but I have to be honest. The only thing that concerns me about this is, what if they get him off? There will be riots all over the place, but I think justice must be served, and I'm so thankful that they are taking another look at this case because something just does not smell right. Now, we have to respect the families because there was a young life lost. This is all a tragic situation, but I think if our legal system really reflected for every American, we wouldn't be in this situation.
So Carmelo Anthony is getting a new legal team. This will be comprised of a civil rights attorney, also a couple people from the Texas NAACP. A lot of people in that sector are banding together to overturn his conviction. And my biggest thing that I have to say about it is why? He committed murder. There are consequences to murder. That's it, guys. It's that simple. There's consequences to murder. You guys are so easily influenced by the media, feeding you breadcrumbs and just poking at you like, oh, racist. Yeah, absolutely. He's going to prison because he's black. Yeah, they got another one. No! He stabbed somebody in the heart. That is murder. We have a justice system. Justice system determines his sentence. Boom, bam. How it's been for years. You cannot take every single case of when a black person was wronged by the justice system, because it has happened. It has. Plenty of times. But that is not this. You guys gotta get a grip. You gotta get a grip on your head and your mind. You guys are turning delusional. It's not a good look. You are. Because when people start showing you facts, when all the information is there, you guys will turn a blind eye just because your skin color. You will. And that's how they keep you in a trap, in a loop.
Carmelo's Anthony case is taking a different turn, and the world is watching everything that is happening. Everyone is watching closely. The truth is getting out there. And one big question is, Carmelo Anthony was to be, arrested for 35 years. And the court case remained that he was found guilty. But we have new evidences that comes out showing that he acted in self-defense. And the world that is watching definitely sees the truth of the matter. And everyone is seeing that indeed Carmelo Anthony acted in a matter of self-defense. And so many times this is not making other groups of people happy. But the truth lies in the end of the two people, that is Carmelo Anthony and the person that the truth, everything that happened to them. The reality that hits is that we have some people that are not happy that Carmelo Anthony is going to be winning this case. And as things are going, it seems that Carmelo Anthony is having an upper hand because we are having new truths that are coming out showing that he acted in a matter of defense. But hey, brothers and sisters, the world watched this. Everyone is watching how the trial is going. Yes, it is so tricky. This is a tricky case. But at the end of the day, people who knows justice, people who knows the truth are saying that Carmelo Anthony acted in a matter of self-defense. And in a situation where a person acts in a matter of self-defense, then it means that they should not be convicted. They should not be jailed for life or anything. So brothers and sisters, I want us to watch this video, then I'll be back. I'll be giving my 2 cents in regards to this. So let's watch the video. I'll be back.
Carmelo's new defense team is on their job, baby. Because now the full clip and clear footage of what happened in those stands is out. And Hunter, you told a little fib, didn't you? Turns out, Hunter is the one that walked right up to Carmelo Anthony. But directly after the incident happened, Hunter went on the news and he said that they sat down and Carmelo was yelling things at them. That never happened. And we know it didn't happen because we have video footage that it never happened. We have video footage of Hunter walking directly up to Carmelo, not Austin, which completely contradicts what Hunter said on the news. This is why they never called Hunter to the stand. And that defense lawyer screwed over Carmelo Anthony. There's no doubt in my mind that all of them are in on this shit together. And they railroaded Carmelo. And that is the reason why they never let Hunter get on the stand. But that new team, baby, oh, they're not playing. And Hunter, you're gonna go to jail. Hunter's gonna go to jail. And that is exactly what should have happened in the first place.
Well. The Carmelo Anthony case has taken yet another turn. For weeks now, people have been asking what Carmelo Anthony was going to do after being sentenced to 35 years in prison. Today, we got an answer. A new legal team has reportedly stepped into the case, and this isn't just one attorney. We're talking about a whole team that includes Russell Wilson II as lead attorney, Justin A. Moore, Sean Derdia, Brooke Cluse, Michael Ware, and Gary Bledsoe. Why does this matter? Because appeals are usually handled by one attorney or maybe a small team. This looks like a serious effort to challenge what happened in that courtroom on that day of the sentencing. And if you've been following this case like I have, you know there are a lot of questions that still need answers. There's questions about the evidence. There's questions about the witness testimony. There's questions about the released video footage. There's questions about the sentencing. And questions about whether 35 years is too excessive when compared to other Texas cases involving teenagers with knives and self-defense claims. Again, to be clear, we know that Austin Metcalf lost his life. A family lost his son. Nothing I can say takes away from that reality. Was justice applied equally in this case? Not up until this point. Because when people show me similar Texas cases where teenagers claimed self-defense, where lives were lost, and where convictions were reduced to manslaughter or criminally negligent homicide, I think it's fair to ask why this case ended with a 35-year sentence. That's not saying Carmelo should walk free, but that's saying Carmelo should have a similar sentence compared to the others. That's saying every case deserves consistency. So now I'm watching this new legal team very close. I want to know what arguments will they raise in this case. Will they challenge the conviction? Will they challenge the sentence? Will they challenge what evidence the jury did and did not get to see? Because one thing is for certain here. The trial may be over, but the fight over what happened in that courtroom is far from finished.
The Stand With Karmelo coalition announced that Karmelo had a new team of 6 lawyers who will be handling the appeal of his murder conviction free of charge. You remember he said he was indigent, penniless, and he needed court-appointed lawyers? Well, he got free help that's not court appointed. It's like a dream team of lawyers who want to help people who aggrieved racially, from the sound of it. They include people like Gary Bledsoe, who happens to be the president of the Texas NAACP, someone named Brooke Clues, who happens to be not only a lawyer, but chief of staff to Benjamin Crump, who is basically an Al Sharpton type, and Sean Derdia, whose claim to fame is getting a hung jury for an alleged Tren de Aragua member charged with murder. Okay, so that's his new legal team, who thinks they're going to be able to turn around this just conviction. Good luck. Good luck. That organization writing in a press release, quote, "Our responsibility is to determine whether a legal error occurred and to ensure that every issue supported by the record is fully and vigorously presented on appeal." That's great. We've already had a full trial and it was entirely supported, the verdict that the jury came to. So, you know, you're going to do what all criminal defendants do and try to appeal it and try to find some scurrilous ground, arguing that he didn't get a fair trial in one way, shape, or form, and he's entitled to that appeal. It's not going to go anywhere. That's news, I think, to Sunny Hostin over at The View, who knows better. She's a former federal prosecutor. She knows very well what she says here is total nonsense. Watch.
You're supposed to have a jury of your peers, and you're not supposed to just strike someone because they're black. And in this case, they gave the reasoning that they're educators, and this happened, these were high school students, and this happened at a school track meet, so they couldn't be impartial because of that. I don't think that's an appropriate reason.
The best one.
Black jurors, especially when it's a young black teenager on trial, and especially when that particular area is made up of 10% of an African American community. So I don't think he got a jury of his peers. So I think on appeal there is a legitimate thing, a legitimate reason.
I'm sorry, but that is a blatant misstatement of the law. As she knows, the Supreme Court has specifically held that you have no right to have individuals of your same race on your jury. That's black letter law now. She knows that. Why is she doing this? Why is she saying that?
Many celebrities that are disgusted with the outcome of the Karmelo Anthony verdict case, and so Cardi B being one of those celebrities is putting up $5 million to help find an attorney or a group of attorneys that are willing to fight this case for Karmelo Anthony. Charleston White also said that he is putting up $75,000 for the appeals. He is putting up this money to help fund the appeals. Now, I would have liked them to be had helped put up this funding beforehand. Nevertheless, it is still a blessing. Also, the New York Post has posted that Go Send Go has closed the account for the Karmelo Anthony family because of the murder conviction. That is not true. Go Send Go said that the reasons why the account was closed was because the purpose of the donations was for the pre-trial, for legal fees and things of that nature. And because the trial has ended, they have closed it. So it's not, they didn't snatch it. They're not returning the monies back. They're not, it's none of that. Okay. It has already been met. So that's why it was closed, not because it was snatched.
What we also have with us is people who actually saw the controversial video of Austin Metcalf and Karmelo Anthony, and they're going to speak to that. They're going to speak to exactly what they saw when they introduced their public information request. And I think that you're not going to be surprised by what they saw, but we want to make sure that we get this information out to the public. So we'll start with T. Sturdy.
Hi, my name is actually Tony Sturdivant. Again, I was one of the ones that saw the video. It's kind of bewildering that it doesn't align with the testimony that was presented. What I saw in the video was keep your voice up. What I saw in the video was actually more than 4 kids. There were 6 kids.
Can you hold it? We can hold it. Okay. Yep. Hold it.
Yeah. There were actually 6 kids that walked up in the stadium. 2 splintered off. 4 went directly to Karmelo Anthony, and there was a brief conversation.
You're gonna have to start over, sorry.
All right, start over.
Yeah. That's clean. Let's start again. Keep your voice up.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So again, my name is Tony Sturdivant. I was one of the individuals that put in a FOIA request to see the video. What I saw was starkly different from the testimony that I heard given in the trial. There were 6 kids that walked up, 2 splintered off. I guess that part of was introduced in the trial where they went to deflect the coach. The other 4 walked directly to Karmelo Anthony. There was a brief conversation, I say maybe 20, 30 seconds, and from there, a scuffle ensued. It didn't last long. Karmelo backed out the canopy. He looked one way, looked to the left, and flew down those bleachers. Now, this is the video that was presented to us. This is the questions that I have, though. Why wasn't that video presented in court? And is it the true video? Because, again, it's starkly different from the testimony given in the trial. Karmelo Anthony flew down those bleachers, fell at the bottom of the bleachers, got up, took off. It was maybe 2 or 3 kids that you can see kind of give chase, but Karmelo was gone, so they weren't even going to put a finger on him and touch him. Again, there was a scuffle that ensued at the top of the bleachers, and Karmelo got it there. But I don't know why that was not brought up in court. I don't know why that was shown. I don't know if the ISD gave us a bogus ass video. I don't know, but that's what I saw.
Hello, everybody. I'm an advocate for Karmelo Anthony. My name is T. And when I went to see the video, they asked if you want to see it from either 2 minutes before the stabbing or 11 minutes before. So I chose 11 minutes. From the moment she pressed play, Karmelo Anthony was already sitting up underneath that canopy. And he was sitting there for at least 8 to 9.5 minutes. You see, well, I saw a boy in a black hoodie go over to him first, and then they left out of the tent, and then you see coming across the field was another 6 boys. When they got to the bleachers, one, he went out of frame, and the other one sat at the bottom. But the remaining 4, they went directly to Karmelo Anthony, and like T said before, it was a brief conversation, and then all you see is commotion. And we know from the interviews that Hunter did, we know that Hunter was, in fact, up underneath that tent. The next thing you see, you can see Karmelo, in the midst of them assaulting him, you can see Karmelo trying to back out, but he gets pulled back forward. The next thing you see is Karmelo, he comes shooting out the back, but he's still not standing. And he had to like kind of crab crawl backwards, and he had to like jerk away from them because they still had a hold of his hoodie. He goes up a couple bleachers and he's looking around for which way to go. He runs diagonally down the bleachers and then he falls. At the time of him falling, that's when I noticed another 3 boys coming down the bleachers chasing after him. But once Karmelo got up, he took off. You didn't see him for the rest of the video. At no point in that video do you see Hunter holding his brother. At no point in that video do you see those boys ever going back to the tent and sitting down. That was all a lie. And I also have questions. I don't know how the defense did not play that video. Because when you see that video, it was self-defense. Karmelo was only 5'8", 130-something pounds. And Austin and Hunter Metcalf were 6'1", 220-something pounds. So for people to say that he should have used his hands, people can die from fights, from people using their hands. And that's all I'm going to say for right now.
So I want to say that this press conference is for people who saw the video, because we want to make sure that we get that information out there. The other thing is that we have noticed major disparities when we look up statistically the sentencing structures that Judge Roach sentences minorities under. There's at least a 75% disparity in the length of the prison sentence when the defendant is of color. And so this is a concern for us here in Collin County. I reside here, and so I am concerned as a citizen. If the law is supposed to be equal and everybody is supposed to be protected under that law, then sorry about that, that means every race of people are protected, right? And so with that being said, I'd like to thank you for giving us the opportunity to express what we saw and what we're concerned about here in Collin County.
Okay, sorry, are you good right there? I'm Christopher King. I actually was a licensed attorney in Collin County several years ago, working with the city of Frisco on a certain project. But I'm Christopher King. My handle is KingCast online. I'm also a journalist, and I have a couple things for you briefly. Today I have filed my request for all exhibits used at trial. We'll see how that turns out. I had mailed it in before with a self-addressed stamped envelope, didn't get a response, so I figured I'd fly down here and file it in person this time. So as to this trial, what I see as an attorney, I saw what I believe to be malpractice. And I don't know why it happened, but I will tell you a couple of quick reference points. Number one, he allowed those students to, young people, non-professional people, to testify as to ultimate issues of fact, such as, was it murder or not? Yes. Was it provocation? Karmelo provoked him. That's not how it works. You have to make them elocute as to what Karmelo did to allegedly provoke a situation. That's how it works. And when you don't object to it in the cases in chief, you cannot come back later post hoc and then ask the judge and complain about it in a jury charge. There were also no expert witnesses produced, no use of force expert, no jury. No jury professional consultant was there that I know of. Okay, so these are all very serious questions on this case, and I don't understand it, but I don't like it, and I think this is the proverbial travesty of justice that we have just witnessed here. And there needs to be an investigation. It's not right. It's just not right. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for your.
Are you in touch with the family?
So I actually speak with them. And so
what's next now?
So what's now, and this is what I stated at the beginning, what's next now is definitely a fight for justice. It's definitely a fight. They are definitely ready to file an appeal, which an appeal has officially been filed today. They're ready to move forward with seeing Karmelo get justice and seeing him getting a fair trial. That is all that they wanted from Collin County, was a fair trial. And unfortunately, and I did attend some of the proceedings, and unfortunately it does not appear to me that they received a fair trial, that Karmelo received a fair trial. So what's next for them is supporting their son, and we as advocates, we're going to continue to support Karmelo and support the family, and they're going to continue to fight for justice, and we'll be right there on the side of them. Thank you.
Same defense team?
So I'm not at liberty to speak to that. And that information has not been disclosed. So I don't want to speak on that right now.
Did you have any questions for us?
No, we're good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
I'm telling you guys, watch this case. I've investigated a lot of hokey cases. We're working on one with Hollywood right now. Bodie Miller's cousin, Nico Kenny, 20 years ago in New Hampshire. That was me. We have a website. We're working with the people. Well, I can't tell you that, but we're working with people. We rejected the people who did Murder Mountain because they were trying to cheap us out and take control. I investigate stuff.
I appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Indeed.
I've understood.
No, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
Scoot back a little bit. I'm gonna be right between you, so there you go. Hey, so that I can be able to. I will say this. I will say this one time, and one time only. I speak on behalf of myself, Mr. Dominic Alexander. I speak on behalf of myself as president of the Next Generation Action Network. The Next Generation Action Network wanted to respect this process, to be able to make sure that nobody said that the Next Generation Action Network obstructed this process, interfered in this process. But what this process did is shown that Black lives do not matter in Collin County. Come on with it. It showed us that time and time in American history, it has shown us to remove emotions from yet the law. This trial showed that it put emotions over the law. Yeah. After Trayvon Martin and so many countless names, it has shown us that Black life is not safe in Collin County. It showed us that they did not listen to the law. It showed clearly that a judge interfered in this process. It showed very clearly that a Black boy was allowed not one Black soul on a jury. Of his life. And all white jury convicted him in 2 to 3 hours. We know that they did not prove their case.
Yes. Wait a second, I think finished talking.
They are currently facing Karmelo Anthony. But we know that the Next Generation Action Network put the first $10,000 towards an appellate attorney. Yeah. And we will fight Collin County like hell. Yeah. I respected this process. I allowed and called for peace in this process.
See where that got us.
But Black America should be very upset about what went on today.
Yes.
Now, before all of the internet lawyers and before all of the interpretation of the situation, I'm only an advocacy leader. I'm not an attorney. I can only help families be able to navigate these processes when they find themselves in this type of situation. I can only allow lawyers to be what they are, lawyers. I can't instruct them. I can't stop them from doing anything. I have to respect the process just like anybody else. But what we saw today was flawed, unjust, and I ask that the community continue to pray for the Anthony family. I do not speak for them, but I know that the Next Generation Action Network will be here as support. My heart hurts right now because an ignorance of the law was done here today. Clear. We posted the jury instructions, and right now what we are seeing is a travesty. It lets us know that Black lives do not matter in the criminal justice system. It lets us know that we are not going to be afforded the same laws as anybody else. And I give a damn about nobody that feels like I'm playing the race card here. For 400 years, our people have been at the liberty and have had to suffer at the liberty of these laws. I'm speaking facts because that blood of slavery is in my blood, not yours. And it's not for you to look at me and say, I'm playing the race card. I'm just a Black man living in America. The fact supports that.
Yeah.
You say I'm upset? Hell yeah, I'm upset. I respected this process. But we're going to fight like hell to make sure that Collin County know that Karmelo Anthony is not going to go away.
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you are doing great from wherever you're watching this video from. So, you know, people get something to say about this. And on the other side, while I was watching the video, you know, I looked at the comment sections and I was really interested in what really people were saying in regards to this, because I wanted to find the truth. I wanted to really know what really transpired, and if the world is watching, what is the world saying in regards to this? Well, I believe that that's the most important thing. So brothers and sisters, this is what people are saying. So somebody said that if they had gone about their business, the consequences would not have been dire for that young boy. 4-on-1 is unfair. He was defending himself, and that's the truth. Somebody said that even Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles could see that this was the most unfair sentencing from a kangaroo court I've ever seen in my life. I'm glad that this brother is getting new trial. Free Karmelo Anthony, right? Somebody's saying that I'm so happy for the powerhouse behind him, along with the prayers uplifted for this young brother. Indeed, he was having a self-defense. I hope Karmelo end up going to an HBCU college and become a lawyer. The creator will show this smileball racist who is boss. I'm so tired of these racist people. Somebody said that Miss Kelly needs to shut up. Will she be saying this if a young white boy was judged by a jury of a Black and people of color, then found guilty? No, she will not, right? Somebody said that to the woman in red, you don't know what happened. This was a case that was done wrong in this justice system. If he didn't commit the crime, they will still convict. This was a public lynching. There is a history share that somebody talked about. They talk about justice. But where was justice for 14-year-old Emmett Till, whose body was discredited by white mob in Mississippi in 1955, when the white man got off scot-free after a lie told by Carolyn Brand, a white woman claiming that the boy whistled at her. How many black men have been killed due to lies from white women and the perpetrators get off? Why are the white cops getting admin leave with pay after killing an innocent black baby? Why was the sentence excessive when it would have been far less if the crime was committed by a white boy for the same crime? Oh yeah, white Navy service member was mistakenly killed by white cops assuming that he was a black due to some reports about someone driving a white van erratically. This naval man was on his way to work with the cops, pumped the vehicle full of bullets, then they failed to render aid or call for EMS, letting this young sailor laid out because they assumed that he was black. Don't tell me about justice in America. Oh yeah, that white boy who got pew-pewed up in a church during Bible study. When he was invited to join the congregation, the white cops stopped at a hamburger place and bought him a hamburger and coke en route to the precinct. That never would have happened if it had been a black boy doing that to the congregants. Somebody said that. So glad that the truth of what really happened is being exposed. It is important that justice will be served, and Karmelo Anthony will get the defense it deserves for justice to be served. Somebody said that I knew this was coming. God isn't allowing this racist mess to continue. There may be riots here from the white folks. They won't campaign, but they have no problem destroying the black communities. Somebody said that the lady in the red halter top is talking delulu. It needs a retrial plan, plain and simple. Will she say the same thing about young black boy who was unalived by that Asian gas station owner for absolute nothing? Somebody said that I knew our people would. I knew our people would. I wonder what Mr. Charleston White has to say at this time with the dream teams of attorneys that are now defending Mr. Anthony, and because they will win. When they win, they will enough money for them all to be paid for Karmelo and his parents to live well for the rest of their lives. All of them sell out as black folks accountable too. We expect racists to stand on BS, but when it's your own, then that's something else. Not to mention, an all-white jury on a case involving a black person in this demonic society. Where were the black jury members? This case was like a baby lamb thrown into the lion's force. It's really crazy, right? It's really crazy. I'm trying to look at, the judicial system is racist. Why are black people surprised at this? What did they expect? How many injustices have black Americans faced from these demons? Come on, wake up. Wake the hell up. Black Americans are still sentenced like they're still in the 1950s or in the 1960s. It is still same. Somebody said that we need to protect that young man inside and out. So please, if anyone knows anyone serving with Karmelo, please ask them to protect that young man. And we need to protect his family. The diaspora needs to come together. Ibrahim has shown us what's possible if we rely on ourselves, right? So this is the last comment that I'm going to be reading. Karmelo Anthony is one of African America's best. He was one of the honor roll, a great student in all his years of going to school, and had several scholarships lined up when he graduated. Then those demons came out of nowhere and tried to destroy his great accomplishments. But that's how it usually is. Demons cannot stand to see African Americans rise way above them. They'll do anything they can to destroy any and everything we do to try and reduce the greatness in the people we are. it seems they may not win this time. Brothers and sisters, please let me know what you'll think about this. As you know, I'm your host and presenter, Engineering Stories, but until then, I'm hoping to see you on my next video. Until then, peace, love, and harmony. Salute.